Good morning. This is Talk Back to Television. I'm here with John Giegangack from Hub Research. John, how are you?
Hey, Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Now, we just got through the end of what I personally think was a pretty terrific baseball
Yeah,
playoff season. I mean, there was some sort of amazing stuff to
that
watch
was that was
there.
incredible.
And we're at week 8 or 9 of football, but you have some studies that suggest that it is possible, to the degree that we have all managed to just totally piss off the viewers and consumers and sports fans, that there are business opportunities here. So I think our viewers would love to hear that. So what do you got, bud?
Yeah, so we've got our sports study that we're at the end of the second year of that now. So we run it every 6 months, um, and one of the themes that is emerging is that as sports moves from traditional linear TV to streaming, and becomes more fragmented across platforms, we're we're seeing that sports fans are having some of the same frustrations that people had as when scripted TV did the same thing and became more difficult to locate, except that with sports content, people are getting frustrated faster, and the level of frustration is higher because it turns out sports is more important to you if you're a sports fan than anything else
Absolutely.
that you
For,
watch on
for your
television.
team, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now um, you mentioned Roku. So how does that play into this?
Yeah, well, so we released the findings from our study a few weeks ago, and then Roku just had their earnings call, and apparently their data is showing a lot of the same things that we have seen, where they said one of the quote unquote a golden opportunity for them is to help with the disaggregation of sports, and that's of course the same thing that Roku does in general. They're the front porch of
Yep.
sports content. They exist to help you find what you want to watch regardless of what platform it's on. And that's a huge, I mean, that's a great spot to be in. That's a thing that consumers need more than anything else. And with sports, that's even more pronounced. So what Roku has developed, they've had it for a while, but I think it's going to start to come into its own now, is this Roku Sports Zone where you can go in and you can look, at a particular sport you're interested in, anything from like the major ones like the NFL or Major League Baseball, down to motorsports or combat sports like boxing or MMA. And the guide there will assemble all the content about that sport live uh, or on demand and put it in one place so that you can look for the thing, the content, the game, the news, whatever it is that you're looking for, and it will guide you there regardless of what platform it's on. And if it's one you don't have, you'll have to sign up. But what they are doing is taking the guesswork and a lot of the frustration out of trying to locate these sports. And if you're, that's a pretty important. When the Eagles were on, we went to go turn on the TV. I had some people over. This is like a month ago, and I found out that my wife had signed up for the NFL app because she thought you could stream the games on it, and she had deactivated the YouTube TV.
Oh,
So,
ho, ho.
so I quickly, like with like a five alarm fire, had to reactivate the YouTube TV again to get on the birds before the game came on.
All right. Now listen. If let's just take if on the what to watch portion of Roku, as I told you when we were warming up, I have been watching Sylvester Stallone's Tulsa King
Yep.
on Paramount Plus. And so if I go to the what to watch button and scroll across, it'll be right there that
Yep.
technically it's sitting there if there's a new episode to watch. I'm not sure they're always accurate on that, but that's roughly the image, right? If I forget
Mhm.
where Tulsa King is, okay, I
Yep.
go down there and I can find it. Um, if the National Football League, pay attention to this, guys. If the National Football League were to work with Roku, they could technically put an NFL button on the Roku front page. And from there, you would see all the NFL games rather than scrolling over to Amazon or scrolling over to Netflix or scrolling over to Paramount Plus or Peacock or even Apple TV, right? Technically, with the right deal on the front porch that is Roku, they could be sitting in the glider on the side saying, hey, come on over here. All of your football games are right here, right?
Well, I'm not sure exactly how the ins and outs of the interface work, but there is, an NFL
The plumbing is always an
where,
issue.
where,
Yeah.
where you can see everything that's on, or college football or Formula One. So they've done that. They've assembled all of the content in one place. They don't have all, you still have to have subscriptions to whatever platform it's on, but it
So
will tell
that,
you where to watch it.
but it would say, let me say, if I went down through it, Rick, you want to see the Ravens games? The next one is on Apple TV, and you don't have Apple TV, click here. Now that's a function that Roku does every day of the week, every minute,
Yes.
every second of every day of the week, right? Because I've already got my billing set up with Roku and I'm one click away from getting there.
Yep.
That's a huge difference than the usual process of go
Yeah.
back, go in, log in, do all this. You know what? I mean, the disassembly of major league sports of sports programming is a huge opportunity for people like Roku and as we said maybe even Disney ESPN over there,
And
right?
for any of them, yeah, I mean, I think that's why they identified it as such a golden opportunity on their call with investors this week. And even, Disney, to their credit, has done for a while now. ESPN, the app and the website have had this where to watch feature. So you can click on that at the top, put in any game, and it will tell you where to watch it, even if it's on some platform other than ESPN. And if you think about it, that would have been anathema even a few years ago
Oh,
for a
that's
cable
right.
network
Yeah,
to send you to another cable network. But what the position that we're in now, is that streaming has put consumers in the driver's seat, and so no longer can you sort of plan for what's the ideal scenario, which is for people to watch whatever they watch on your network, but you have to put in the best experience for the user, because if you don't do that, and someone else is offering a better experience, they will go somewhere else. So I think for now the priorities have shifted, and there is a lot of value for platforms in being the one that makes this all simpler, even if that means that sometimes you send people to watch on some other platform to watch a game or a sport that you don't have.
but they
If you're
came to you first, and so
and
you
then they
get
will
those
and they will come
eyeballs before
back.
anybody else does.
Yeah, if you're the one that facilitates it and makes it possible to use all this stuff, they will come back to you first the next time. And that will, at a minimum, that kind of keeps you in the conversation, but it also makes you the starting point for all the viewing sessions of sports or scripted content, if, for that matter, if it's aggregating that.
And if you use the Roku model, which arguably they haven't yet gotten to on this piece of the world, but the one click and I'm there, then that prevents the thing you described with YouTube finding out that your wife had unsubscribed to YouTube because she thought she could get the games on NFL, and you had to scramble.
Yeah,
You did have to scramble to get to your Eagles game before kickoff because
right.
you
I mean, that's
simply
what
wanted to turn it on. The game's in 5 minutes. I'm there, and you go, oh,
fans all they want to watch is they want to watch.
their
Uh,
game, their team right
and they
now.
don't they don't know and don't care about who
No,
has
that's
the
right.
rights. So the Roku Sports Zone, I think, is a really, really smart way to simplify that problem. And it's the next best thing to, I mean, the best thing is just if the leagues, give their rights exclusively to one platform, you never have to wonder where to go, which is, there's reasons that some big companies like the NFL or NBA don't want to do that. But on the other hand, we've just seen the UFC with their new deal with Paramount, and Paramount does have exclusive rights, not just for all the fight nights, but also for the numbered events that were pay-per-view. And so now if you're a UFC fan, you can sign up for Paramount Plus, get everything in one platform, and you can even save a bunch of money because you're not buying pay-per-views anymore.
But the trick is that if, let's say, Major League Baseball, we've heard that they want to buy back the rights to all the games from the local broadcasters. And my attitude is by the time they get all those deals done, some of which don't expire for another 6 years,
Yeah.
there won't be any viewers left. An overlay, as we are talking about, and that's the kind of right concept, a marketing overlay on top of all this. You
Hmm.
don't have to worry about the damn deals. You work with you got the game, I'll put it here. Okay. By the way,
Yeah.
pay, you know,
I
and
think I think like Major League Baseball is maybe even like a better example because there's so many games and that's extra fragmented. I was at
oh heavens, yes.
I was speaking at an ARF event out in LA last week, and there was someone else from Roku there, and they were talking about their sports zone, but she was talking about she's from Boston. She says her dad's a Red Sox fan, and she says to watch the Red Sox throughout the season, you need like six different services or subscriptions to watch it because it's so fragmented. And I think that that is a good example of where there's financial reasons for for platforms and for sports to do this. But if you make it too fragmented, you're kind of destroying a lot of what people like about watching sports or even watching baseball in particular, is that it's kind of relaxing and it's easy. And it's easy to forget that people are used to watching this when there's only, in the old days, if there's only three networks or maybe four. And not only that, if you're watching, there's two NFL games on, you can just use that last channel button on your remote to go back and forth. Whereas now in the days, maybe that's a very analog, antiquated habit, but digital apps, you have to exit out of a digital app. You have
Go
to
out,
find
go back,
another
go
app
back and
on
go
your
in.
home
Yeah, yeah,
screen. You
yeah.
have to go into it. You have to find the game. You have to hit play. You have to wait for it to buffer and spin up, and then you have to watch it. So it turns into a task instead of just a habit that people have formed, like last channel, last channel. So I think there's huge opportunity, just like with the Roku Sports Zone. There's a lot of opportunity for companies to build the interface for sports around the way that people are used to watching it, because the more, an interruption to sports is a lot bigger of a deal than an interruption to scripted content. Over 75% of the sports fans we talked to said that they care more about sports than anything else that they watched. And two-thirds of them already, even though, sports has only been going on to streaming in earnest for a couple of years, uh, there's already about three-quarters of them that say it's a hassle to find the games I want today compared to how it was a couple of years ago.
All right. So last thing, your comment about the gal at the panel with her father who had, six different services to watch all the Red Sox games. I have a friend who actually created an Excel spreadsheet to track where the game was. Okay. Now that is insane.
Yeah, but it
Now,
shows you how much
I
they
might
care.
know where they all are, but I got to look it up and what's
Yep.
tonight's game? Who are they playing? Where do I find it? By the time I've done all that, they're into the second inning already, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Roku is absolutely right that I mean, simplifying TV in general, that's their whole entire. They have some original shows now, but really the reason that Roku exists and the reason that it's so successful in this country is that it just takes TV, which people really care about, but that's gotten very complicated, and makes it simpler. And they're now doing that to sports as well, which is an area where I think the opportunity is even bigger because it's even more complicated, and the stakes in being able to find the content you want are so much higher.
Well, there you go. All right, John Giegangack, and now that we've given Roku at least a 4.5% stock price boost, uh, thank you for your time. Baseball season is over. It was terrific, but now we're into football, and then that thing with the round ball that they throw around happens in basketball.
Yeah, let's
Be
go
that
Eagles.
as it may. All right, we'll see you next time, buddy. Thank you very
Thanks a
much.
lot.